Good evening, good evening, my brothers and sisters. Come on in to the dinner table and sit down because we got some good soul food tonight. And you know your brother Tony, he has this meal prepared. Also, my brothers and sisters, go ahead and invite some more family members to the dinner table. And keep in mind, we may have some guests that may want some of this good soul food. So if you don't mind, just scoot down when they come in and introduce themselves, okay? If this is your first time at the dinner table, allow me to clearly introduce myself. My name is Tony M. Toomer, and I talk about relationships. I talk about relationships basically from a spiritual point of view. And when I say spiritual, I strongly believe in a relationship that God ordained and He established. What do I mean by that? When you look in the book of Genesis, God had a unique relationship with the man Adam. He had a unique relationship with the woman Eve, and he brought them together. And when God brought Adam and Eve together, Adam said to God about Eve, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, I should call a woman because she came from man. That's the position I come from. If you have any other position that you believe in, you have what is called a free will. God gave you a free will. But I would like for you to still sit down at the dinner table and get some of this good soul food. Maybe you may learn something from what I'm talking about. I'm on two different platforms live. I'm on Facebook and I'm on YouTube. Those of you that are on YouTube, I may make some comments to those that are on Facebook, and you may not see their name or their comment, but I will call out their name in a comment every now and then. And then those of you that is on YouTube, those of you on Facebook, I may say something to those on YouTube. You may not see their names or comment, but I will call out their name in the comment, okay? And those of you that, if this is your first time coming in, I want you to feel free that you can join in with the family and friends, make your comments, and if you have any questions, ask your questions. And that also for you brothers and sisters too. If you have any questions or comments along the way, go ahead and make it through the chat, and we will address it. There's no question or comment that is irrelevant. Everything is relevant. We're a family here at the dinner table, okay? With that said, we're about to look at the menu, but before I look at the menu, I see that Sister Parker have sat down at the table. How you doing? I see Sister Pam Pam has sat down at the table. How you doing? And come on in, the rest of you brothers and sisters along the way, okay? Now, when we look at the menu for tonight, if we got a good meal to serve up, when you're in a friend with benefits relationship, again, what's on the menu for tonight, when you're in a friends with benefit relationship. This is what we're going to talk about at the dinner table tonight, my brother and sister. It's nothing uncommon. There are a lot of people that are into this particular type of relationship. How you doing, Sister Angela B? Welcome to the dinner table. There are so many people into this, my brother and sister. Now, the question is it wise, my brother and sister, to be in a relationship with benefits? Or is it wise to be in a committed relationship? I know some people say, well, what you talking about, Tony? You just asked a compound question. You said, is it wise to be in a relationship that have benefit, or is it wise to be in a committed relationship? We're going to break it down at the dinner table tonight, but let us clearly define what friends with benefit means. It is clearly defined, my brother and sister, and we refer to the dictionary. Friends with benefit is a relationship with no strings attached. That's what it clearly is. A friends with benefit relationship is a relationship with no strings attached, where two people, listen to this, where two people are physically intimate with each other without the commitment to each other. So that's what it is. Those of you that are coming in tonight, we are defining what's on the menu, friends with benefit. And again, the definition say it is referred to a relationship with no strings. Okay, and we know what that means. Where two people, man and woman, that's what we talk about on the dinner table. We talk about man and woman with this friend with benefit topic. or physically intimate with each other without being committed to each other in any type of way. That's what we're talking about. Or to say it differently, it is where two people engage in sexual activities without being in a committed relationship. So it's a spin, but you see where we're going with this, right? Also, it means connecting with someone emotionally and sexually without being in a committed relationship. Now, I did a little research for you, my brother and sister. How you doing, Sister Flohart Market? Welcome to the dinner table. According to Kelly Gonsalves, that's Gonsalves, she is a sex and relationship editor, and she provided some rules of engagement when it comes to friends with benefits. She surely have, and what the best situation you could come up with. These are 5 rules that she say to be able to execute the friends with benefit phenomenon. She said, number 1, get a clear on your definition of what it means to be friend with benefit, because when a man and woman, whoever decide, or if both of them decide, you have to really know the definition of what it is. You can't go into it assuming. You have to like run it past one another and see what he or she think about the definition. Okay. Number 2, understand what your partner want from the relationship. We talk about friend with benefit. You still have to get an understanding what your friend want or your partner want in the relationship. Number 3, you have to check in with each other regular. Okay. You have to do, you have to do a little checking in. Number 4, you have to talk about your feelings. You got to share a little your feelings with that man or woman. Okay. And number 5, be considerate and show be empathetic. Now that's what Miss Kelly said about friends with benefits. Now, let me tell you this, my brother and sister. Out of 10 couples that say they are in a committed, a single, or a serious and committed relationship, out of 10, before I say that, Angel B says someone is going to develop feeling, use the woman, and someone will get hurt. We're going to address that. Good point, Sister Angel B. Out of 10 couples, and I'm about to be generous, out of 10 couples, with 10 being the highest, 7 out of 10 couples are in a friend with benefit relationship. Isn't that startling? Out of 10 couples, 7 of the 10 are basically in a friend with benefit relationship. Now, some will be in a friend with benefits, whereas the man and the woman clearly knows what type of relationship he or she is in. And then there may be an unspoken part about friend with benefit, whereas no words are not being said. So it's supposed to be a silent understanding. So it may be a verbal where both parties knows about it, and then it may be an assumption that you know what the deal is without words being said. Because there are many relationships where the man and the woman, to be kind of clear and concise with you, brother and sister, when most relationships come down to the friend with benefit, is actually this. A man and a woman may say he or she is serious about the relationship. A man and a woman may say that he or she is committed to the relationship, but it's not covenant. Okay? How you doing, Sister Sherry Smith? Welcome to the dinner table. It's not covenant. So, what does that mean? That means that the man and the woman, they rather settle for a relationship without being in a covenant relationship. A covenant relationship is getting married. And we talk about the Western society, there are more couples in a relationship and they didn't say I do. A lot of them are cohabitating together. A lot of them are not cohabitating together, but they are doing things, even though they stay in their separate dwelling places, they still doing the thing what a man and a woman do if they were in a covenant relationship. So what am I saying? When it comes to a relationship, you got to understand this. Thank you, Sister Angie B. You got to understand this. Going back to my original question, is it wise? Listen very carefully. Is it wise to be in a relationship with benefits, or is it wise to be in a committed relationship? Okay. Now, the first part of that question, is it wise to be in a relationship with benefits? Now, some people could take this at two parts. Some would say, yes, it is wise to be in a relationship with benefits. Well, how far do you go if you're not married? Okay. And when we look at friend with benefit, most of the time we'll see a man and a woman, they could be in a relationship. And like I say, they could be cohabitating, that's living together or shacking, or they could be living in their own place, but they consider that's my man, that's my woman, that's my hubby, and that's my wifey. But they are not married. Let me tell you something about friends with benefits. Like the dictionary clearly explained, it's when two people are physically intimate with each other without committing to one another, or it's when two people engage in sexual activities without being in a committed relationship. It also can mean connecting with someone emotionally and sexually without a committed relationship. And that's a point what Sister Angie B said. Angie B said someone is going to develop feeling, usually the woman, when someone will get hurt. Now, Sister Angie B is speaking the truth. Most of the time when it comes to a friend with benefit relationship, most of the time, listen to me carefully, my brother and sister, most of the time, Sister Angie B said friend with benefit is worldly. I see what you're talking about. We're going to hit that on that shortly too, Sister Angie B. When it comes to friend with benefits, at the dawn or the beginning of the relationship, the man and woman start talking, all right? Then they probably start liking each other, excited at that excitement part of the relationship. Sister Angie B said, I know it happened to me. It happened to a lot of people, sister. It really does. It really does. Now, the man could be a very, very smooth operator. He could talk, as well as the woman could be a very smooth operator. She can talk. We know that the men are visual. We know that. That's factual. Men are visual. And what are women? Women like to be told good words. And women also look down the road. You see, men look down the road. Most of the time, men look down the road for physical action. And a lot of time, women look down the road for security. You see what I'm saying? So you got most of the time men looking at the physical aspect of the relationship and the woman looking at some form of security. You understand? So that is kind of what friends and the benefit come in. There may be an understanding between a man and a woman. It could be verbally, where both of them come to agreement at the beginning of the relationship, or it's not said. It's supposed to be clearly an understanding. But let me tell you this, my brother and sister, when a man and a woman get into a relationship and they say they're serious, committed, but there's no covenant part, and you all know what I called it. I called it you're a free agent. Let's just call it what it is. Brother, you're not obligated to do husband duties for the woman, but that's what come along with friend with benefits. And sister, you're not obligated to do wifely duties, but that is what comes with friends with benefits. Now, let's break down what friend with benefits. This is the ugly part of friends with benefits. Now, your family members and your friends may endorse friend with benefits, but what does God think about it? Does God endorse the relationship of friends with benefits? Or does God want the relationship between a man and a woman to go to the covenant part, and then the benefits come along the way? A lot of men and women, they get into friends with benefits relationship, and majority of the time, if a man and woman pledge they quote unquote loyal to one another, just like Sister Angela B say, feelings are going to normally get involved. Feelings are normally going to get involved, and most of the time, it's not. Most of the time, the woman that show her hand are the feelings first, because women are what? Emotional, and a lot of men know this. If you all recall this movie, it was called "There's a Thin Line Between Love and Hate," and I have made this comment before on one of my previous videos. If you all have seen that movie, Friends with A Thin Line Between Love and Hate, that was kind of a friend with benefit movie, because the Martin Lawrence character, his name was Darnell, and the Lynn Whitfield character, she was Brandy. If some of you seen this particular movie, Darnell, Martin Lawrence character, he pursued Lynn Whitfield character Brandy relentless, but all in his mind he was thinking about physical activity. Whereas the Lynn Whitfield character, she was looking more at a long-term relationship with that can go the distance. And as you know, if you've seen the movie A Thin Line Between Love and Hate, the Martin Lawrence character, he said everything he's supposed to get an advantage in a relationship. If you recall, when he went to Brandy's house, Lynn Whitfield, when he got there, she already had the attire of like a negligee on, right? So how she was dressing, that kind of told him what she was thinking about doing based on how she was dressed. It was a seductive outfit. So when they sat down and started talking, but let me back up a little bit. Martin Lawrence character Darnell, he had a conversation with Bobby Brown character T and two more guys at this club where he worked at. And they was talking about gaming women. And if you remember the Bobby Brown character T, he said, as long as you don't say these three words, I love you, you come back to your you know what fall off. The key word, I love you. And that is a misused phrase by men and women. But going back to the movie, when Lynn Whitfield, she wanted to have open dialogue with the Darnell character, right? She said, is there anyone else? He really didn't want to answer that question. He really didn't. He wanted to sidestep, but she kept him on in the corner. She said, is there anyone else? He basically said no. He lied. And then she asked him this question: do you love me? That's what she asked him. Do you love me? Now, when he heard that, he really did not want to say I love you, because he wanted to get to the physical activity without saying the words. That's why he kind of dragged before he answered the question. So if you notice, when she asked that question, she was ready to be serious and commit. Possibly her mindset, she would probably the type of lady that wanted to be married. But the Darnell character, he did not see himself marrying her. He seen him hooking up with another young lady. Okay. But he went ahead and said, I love you. Why did he say I love you? Because he was getting something out of it. And if you notice this, my brother and sister, listen, look at how it went down. The Brandy character, she started trying to buy the relationship. She started giving him things. And what really did he give her? What really did he give her? He gave her some of his time and a little glass looking bird. That's all he gave her. And sex. That was the extent of it. Friends with benefit. It benefited the Martin Lawrence character. So when he slept with Lynn Whitfield, that's when the emotional attachment came. Just like the sister Angela B said, normally the woman get more emotional attached, and that's part of the definition of friend with benefit. It may mean connecting with someone on the emotional and sexually without being in a committed relationship. That's the Martin Lawrence character. But the Lynn Whitfield character, Brandon, she got emotionally soul tied to him. That's why I tell you, brothers and sisters, soul tie is a very serious thing. See, there's a big difference between being soul tie and a soulmate. A soulmate, you're designed and you're supposed to be together. Okay. A soul tie is when you get together, but you don't supposed to be together. It's wrong. And you trying to force a relationship to happen when you're in a soul tie relationship. A soul tie relationship is very, very unhealthy. Now, friend with benefit, that's where it falls into a soul tie. It's just another spin, friend with benefit, but it's more than likely going to be a friend with benefit. Because I'm telling you, most of the time when even a woman can have an understanding, but women based on emotion. Now, you got some men that are emotional. And a man could be straight up and say, look, let's see where this is going to go. But some women, not all women, they will listen to, let's see where it's going to go, but they still got something in their mind because they subconsciously think they're going to change the man most of the time. Or they say, well, I'm not going to get him to change my mind. I want to see how far it's going to go to. But somebody, let me tell you this, my brother and sister, when it comes to friend with benefit, there's going to be some emotional attachment, especially when you start spending purpose, quality time with someone else. So the man can start getting emotional tied and the woman without sex. But when you add the equation of sex into the relationship, feelings are going to get more deeper and deeper. So the folks that normally the woman catch feeling. That's right. So let me tell you this. What happened? The man and the woman and a friend with benefits, when they sleep together, let me tell you what started going on. And I have said it before. It's more than the exchange of bodily fluids. That's the physical part. That's the last part. But what goes on the inside? The inside is the soul, the mind, the will, and the emotion. Brother and sister, do you not know that when a man and a woman get to that part of the relationship, you're not in Kansas anymore, Dorothy. Those that you that sing the Wizard of Oz. Once you leave Kansas and go to Oz, you see things from a whole different perspective, okay? And that's what happened, my brother and sister. Once you sleep with someone, it's just like going to Oz. You have left Kansas. And when you go back to Kansas, you will not forget that you went to Oz, because you're going to be telling people that you went to Oz, and you're going to be trying to explain to the people. They're going to say, what you talking about? You understand? They're going to say, what you're talking about. But now you have gotten mentally tied to someone. You have gotten emotionally tied with someone, and now you physically tied with someone. And then at that particular point, when you get soul tied, it's not like it's going to come knocking on your door and say, we soul tied. It's not going to happen like that. Someone's going to be probably sitting on his or her feeling, and then it's going to come out. And let me tell you when it normally come out. It normally come out after a session in bed. That's when it normally come out. And you see, a lot of times, a lot of men, they will refrain from telling a woman, I love you. And sister, you may have heard it. You ain't got to raise your hand. If you slept with a man, which was wrong, because if you, especially when you weren't married, now I'm not trying to be holier than thou, but I'm just talking practical. Some of you sisters, if you slept with a man and you weren't married, if you notice this, like I said, you ain't got to raise your hand. You notice when you actually heard the man really act like he loved you when you was in the bed with him. Now, he may loosely say that to get to where he want. He may try to sound romantic that he love you, but when you in the bed with a man, when you and him engaging in quote unquote some hot steaming activity, that's a lot of time when you sister hear a man say, I love you. And bro, let me tell you what happened when you tell a woman you love her when you inside her body. She's already emotional, and a lot of times she wanted to hear. And at that particular time when a woman say, when she hear you say, I love you, she take that to heart. Even though she may have seen some signs outside of the bed that you wouldn't say it with so much passion, but now you're saying with passion. With each stroke, you tell the woman that you love her. And let me tell you something, sister, while a man a lot of times tell you he love you when he's doing that. Because what he's trying to do is get you to move your body more. Whatever you're doing with your body, he want you to intensify what you're doing with your body. That's why a lot of men say, I love you, because if some of you sisters, you know, we're just being realistic here at the dinner table, and some of you have experience, you ain't got to raise your hand. You notice that when the man tell you he love you and you already had those further feeling toward that, whatever you were doing in the bed, you crank it up to third gear. And when everything is over, that particular session is over. That's when most of the time the woman asks the man this question. They both disengage and they laying there in the bed. Then the woman, she may get up while the man is on his back with his hand behind his head, feeling like he's in heaven, which he's not. Looking up and he's smiling and stuff and talking. And then a lot of times men will say stuff like that. That's the best I ever had. And then this what the woman do. She will prop herself on her elbow and look down into the man's face. And she will say something like this. Oh, thank you, Sister Angie B. I'll keep it real. She would look down the man's face and say, did you mean what you say you meant? Did you mean what you said? And then the man probably thinking, what did I say? Then he may ask the woman, what did I say? And then the woman will say, you said that you love me. And then sometimes the man may stutter or he may delay because he realized that he did say those words. But a lot of time when he said those words, it wasn't because he actually genuinely meant it. It meant that he enjoyed that physical feeling and you calling him to release his essence in you. That's why he said he loved you. Then he'll probably try to play it off while he's back. Yeah, you know I love you. You know I've been loving you. And then the woman get out the bed, go take a shower, wash off. And while the man laying in the bed, he thinking about, what have I just got myself into? Have I just got myself into Charlotte's Web? That's what he's thinking. And then after that, the woman, a lot of times she think that we got a relationship. Now, when you look at it from a biblical perspective, biblically, that right, Sister Angie B, was only for a moment. When you look at it from a biblical perspective, let me tell you how God view it. God specifically set aside sex for only married men and women. But I'm letting you know now, my brother and sister, I'm guilty. Excuse me, 100 times 100. I'm guilty. I have fornicated so many times I can't even count it. I can't count it. I can't count how many times I've fornicated. I can't do it. And a lot of you brothers and sisters, you know what? I'm being honest with you, brother and sister. I fornicated and it was wrong. because God did not want me to do it. God wanted me to be married to, and it wouldn't be listed in God's eye fornication. And yes, my brother and sister, I have been in a relationship with friend with benefit in my young, unintelligent days. I put it that way. But when I was a child, I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. That's what Apostle Paul said. When I was a child, I was grown, but I was a child. I thought as a child. I operated as a child. But when I became a grown man, I put away childish things. You understand? Because I learned, my brothers, and I learned, my sister, that when you get that close to a woman, it's not no play game. When some of you guys, you got to get to the point where when you're doing this with a woman, you get to the point that it's not a play thing, it's not a game. Because a lot of women, they take that stuff. Women take that physical part's more serious than men. Now, you got some women that don't take it too serious these days, but most of the time, women take that part more serious than men. And then if the man and woman agree to say, well, we in a relationship, but the man and the woman probably got an understanding that we ain't gonna get married. They will live together. They will cohabitate, which before the world accepted. Okay, he lived with the woman, she lived with the man, and guess what? You got a man and a woman cohabitating. They get up and go to worship service together. Yeah, that's right. You have men and women that cohabitate, not married, before God, but the world, even some of the church location, they accept the man and woman. They know that man and woman live together. They know that man and woman is not married. But there are some churches that look at the man and woman as husband and wife too, and they endorse it. And then there are some churches, they don't even want to talk to the man and woman about it. And the man and woman could be members or one of them members, but they don't want to address it because a lot of them think more about the money and not losing the money. So friends with benefit is basically no commitment. That's what it really is, my brother and sister. Friend with benefit and no commitment. That's why a lot of people get hurt, especially women. The man could be with a woman for a long period of time. And then he sees someone else, and guess what? He have wasted this woman's life 20-some years. And sister, you allowed him to waste your life for 20-some years. And then he sees someone that they really click on all cylinders. And he met this woman and started seeing this woman. And within 2 weeks, he started some kind of argument with you. And then the next thing you know, he done got married to another woman. And he know her for a very short period of time. And then a lot of women, you want to start talking bad about the woman. You want to go to your family and friends and talk about how wrong he did you. You both were doing it wrong anyway, because guess what? Friend with benefit, there's no commitment. I just read it to you again. Friend with benefit is clearly defined and referred to a relationship with no strings attached. When you're in a friend with benefit relationship, there are no strings attached, where two people are physically intimate with each other without committing to the relationship. And like I said, out of 10 couples, 7 of them friend with benefits. And 3, they take it to another notch. They get serious committed and go to the covenant part. Now, let me read this. When we go to the book of Genesis 2:24, Genesis 2:24, and it is written, therefore, shall a man leave his father and mother and shall cleave or unite with his wife, and they shall be one flesh. You see what's in God's word, and this is in the first book of the Bible. Adam said this, and Adam was in perfect, he was in perfect harmony with God, and he was in perfect harmony with Eve. When God presented Eve to Adam, he did not look at her as friends with benefits, even though he was going to get some benefits out of it, spiritually, then physically. Because the woman that God created for Adam, she was created to be his helpmeet. You understand? She was his helpmeet. She was his wife. And then the Bible turned around after Adam and Eve messed up. If you notice, the Bible said, and Adam knew his wife. It did not say Adam had sex with his wife. It did not say Adam had sexual relationship with his wife, but we know what it implies. How do we know what it implies? Because it said Adam knew his wife, and then the next thing you know, here come Cain. And we know the story about Cain and Abe. Cain killed Abe, and God banished him. But what happened next? You see Adam and Eve, they had another son. His name was Seth. What did the Bible say? And Adam knew his wife again. What does that mean? He had physical relationship with Eve, but Eve was his wife. So Adam deserved the benefits of being married. See, when you get married, my brothers and sisters, when you get married, listen to this. There's nothing wrong with getting benefits in a relationship. All kinds of benefits when you get married. But if you're not married, you got to understand it, my brother and sister, it's two types of relationship. Basically, if you call yourself in a relationship, you either going to be in a friends with benefit relationship where you're free agents and you're not committed, or you're going to be married and you get the benefits that you deserve from God. If you're in a friend with benefit relationship, the benefits you're going to get is worldly, secular. But if you're in the right relationship, according to God, you're going to be blessed and you're going to get the spiritual benefits out of it. You understand? So before God does not like friends with benefits. He is pleased when a man and woman does it his way. When I was doing a friend with benefit when I was a child, God didn't like it. And I went through some unnecessary storms. I put myself in that position. When I was a child thinking, grown man, child thinking. That's why I said, like Paul, when I was a child, I thought like a child and I did the things as a child. But when I became a man, I'm older man now, I became a man, I put away childish things. And I understand, my brothers, and I understand, my sister, that friends with benefit is empty, it's void. Because if you're in a friend with benefit relationship, it's going to be something on the inside of you that's going to say something just ain't right. And when you in a friend with benefit relationship, you're going to wonder, this man or woman, he or she nice, they kind of meet my needs and everything, but why I don't feel whole? That's what you're going to be thinking. You may not say it to that person that you're friend with benefit with. You're going to be thinking that, why I don't feel whole? But you see, when you're in the right relationship, according to God, you will feel whole. You have the spirit of the Lord, spiritual. Then you have a person of the opposite sex that you're in a relationship with. So now you really feeling more whole. That doesn't mean that the person make you whole. You already whole before you met that person, but you getting your spiritual needs met and your physical needs met when you do it God's way. Because just like Adam said, therefore shall a man leave his father and mother and shall cleave or unite with his wife. It did not say cleave. It did not say cleave with your girlfriend or cleave with excuse me, or cleave with that person that you're in a friend with benefit relationship. But I can tell you what, if you're in a friend with benefit relationship, the world is your friend. The world is your friend. The world will support you. The world will support you. Some of your family members that's in the world, they're going to support it. Some of your friends, they're going to support it. Your workmate, they're going to support it. Social media going to support it. But the question is, does God support the type of relationship you're in? So when it comes to a relationship, what does God think about it? I put it this way. Let's say Jesus, let's say, brother and sister, you're at your dwelling place, you're eating dinner. And all of a sudden, Jesus appeared. What you going to talk about at the dinner table? Okay. Would you have a comfortable relationship and Jesus appeared and it's just you, brother, and you, sister, and Jesus appeared bodily, y'all having a nice romantic dinner. And Jesus appeared. He didn't ring the doorbell. He didn't call. He just appeared and he sat down right there at the table. Would you feel comfortable Jesus sitting at your dinner table if you're in a friend with benefit relationship? Would you feel comfortable? Or will you feel comfortable if you sitting at the same dinner table having a romantic meal, but you husband and wife? It's that simple. It's that simple. Would you, brother and sister, invite Jesus out on a date with you? Would you invite Jesus to go on a date with? Would you want Jesus to chaperone your relationship if you're in a friend with benefit relationship? Do you mind that Jesus ride alone? Or, brother and sister, would you mind Jesus ride alone and you and that woman married, sister, or you and that brother married? It's that simple. Just think of Jesus showing up in the body. Or this, brother and sister, let's say you in your house, brother and sister, or wherever you stay at, you in the bed, you looking at CNN, you looking at all this stuff that's going on in the world, and all of a sudden, Jesus bodily appeared in your bedroom. Would you want Jesus to look at CNN with you and you were in a friend with benefit relationship, or you married and Jesus sit down and look at CNN with you? You know that chair that's next to your bed? Would you want Jesus to sit down and look at CNN with you, or your favorite movie? You see what I'm saying? Does Jesus endorse friend with benefit? Yes or no? If you put it in a situation like if Jesus pop up, you would know whether Jesus endorsed it or not. You would know. How can you explain it to Jesus? Let's say this. Let's get more real or real. Let's say we know that Jesus coming back, right? We know that he coming back. We know he coming back. During the rapture, if you're alive and Jesus come, if you didn't die, would you want to be in a friend with benefit relationship when Jesus come? Because he's not gonna knock on your door, he's not gonna call you. All of a sudden, he's gonna boom, he's gonna be here. What type of relationship you want to be in when Jesus come in. If you in a relationship, brother, with a woman, or sister, you're in a relationship with a man, and Jesus all of a sudden come, because we know he coming, do you want to get your hand caught in the cookie jar? That's just like some children. Mama, can I get one of those cookies? No. No, you can't have none. I'm cooking. You can't have no cookie. So the mama phone ring and she go out the kitchen. You standing there in the kitchen. You take the top off of the cookie jar, you get the cookie and start eating it. You hear your mama coming back. You close it and she walk by and she look at you and she say, Did you eat in the cookies? No, I ain't eat no cookie. She said, yes, you did eat some cookies. No, ma'am. She said, well, why are those crumbs on the corner of your mouth? Come here, boy. Come here, girl. And then she get the crumb and said, what is this? Do you want your hand get caught in the cookie jar when Jesus comes? I hope you, brother and sister, got something out of this at the dinner table. When you in a friend with benefit relationship, do you really have any benefits? Or if you in a serial committed and covenant relationship, or you're moving towards the covenant relationship, what do Jesus approve of? That's the bottom line. Or some people say, what would Jesus do? What would Jesus do? If he seen your relationship, what would Jesus say? Would he say, I approve of that? I give you the thumbs up, or Jesus will do like that? Thank you, Sister Angie B. Thank you, Sister Flo. So if you brothers and sisters have any questions or comments at the dinner table, you can go ahead. You just put the word wait. And if you have a question, go ahead and formulate your question, but put wait so I can wait. Or if you got a comment, put wait and formulate your comment. Other than that, Sister Angie B said WWDG. Okay. I think Sister Angie B, I think that means wait. So I'll wait and see. But my brother and sister, while Angie B about to ask a question or a comment, go ahead and start putting some of this good food for the soul in these carrot plate, and take some for your other family members and some friends, and let them know that you have just gotten from the dining table. That's right. What would you? Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. WWJD. What would Jesus do? Thank you, Sister Angie B. I could have had a V8. But anyway, brother and sister, how you doing, Brother Larry Walker? So, brother and sister, just think about this. Would you benefit with friends with benefit, which means there's no commitment? Now, let me tell you that definition again. It means no strings attached, where two people are physically intimate with each other without committing to each other in any way. Or to say it differently, it is where two people engage in sexual activity without being in a committed relationship. And it also say being connected with someone emotionally and sexually without being in a committed relationship. That's what friend with benefit mean. That's what it means when it comes down to it. I love you, brothers. I love you, sister. Like I said, go ahead and take this carrot plate and share with other family members and friends, okay? I love you. I love you. I love you. Peace out.